What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a good day. I've had a bit of a rough experience lately. I had to watch through the second season of the Devil May Cry anime, and to be quite frank with you, it's not exactly what I wanted, and I'm pretty sure nobody would have wanted it as far as the DMC fandom goes. I am grateful that we did get an anime, so unfortunately, it sucks. So, to be clear, what I saw, a few things I want to point out. We're going to focus on number one being the music, then we'll move on to the story, characters, and number four will be some miscellaneous crap that I didn't really like. So let's go on with that. Now, number one, the music, basically, they tried to tender to the millennial crowd and some of Gen Z as well, obviously. They did put a lot of bangers from back in the day in there, but to be quite frank with you, it's all out of context. I want to be clear, as far as the music goes, I hate most of it for the fact that they didn't use music from the game in most parts where they should have. There are times where like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor plays in episode 1 with Virgil basically, and instead of playing Bury the Light, they played that. I'm not trying to say that, look, they crapped the bed too badly with it. It's just that the music is out of place, and whoever selected, well, basically licensed music, as everybody knows it, they obviously have their own personal playlist of what they believed they liked, alternatively maybe thought would fit the scene, and that's what they ran with. My opinion about it is that there was plenty of music already available from the games, and they should have used that when they didn't. And some music is just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's just a complete mess. It takes away from the vibe of the show, and we all know that with Devil May Cry, the music itself kind of really picks you up. When you're in combat, it kind of gets your juices flowing, and I'm not trying to say it needs to be like a one-for-one direct copy of everything, but they could have maybe contacted like Casey Edwards and got him to do some music for this and got things done. You know, they would have really like had a good time. Instead, they went with Papa Roach and some other music from Avril Lavigne and some other people that I've never really heard of. Now, going on to the story, it's a complete mess. If you're expecting anything related to Devil May Cry as it stands, don't. Because this entire thing reads like a Tumblr fanfic. It's like somebody went onto Tumblr like a decade ago, put something up as a post, and these guys use that as research material instead of actually going into the actual lore of the game. It's pretty obvious that nobody played the games. Because if they had, they would have known that certain things are completely out of context, everything is completely wrong, and it's in places which just don't make any sense. Now, firstly, Virgil serves Mundus already. And at this stage, he's not even brainwashed. He is to some extent, but it's not like he's a puppet on a string. He's just been lied to after being kidnapped as a kid and basically given a different story as to what actually happened, and that it was the servants of Argosax that killed his mother, not Mundus. And Mundus used all of this to twist everything and control Virgil or get Virgil to serve him voluntarily. Now, in Virgil's mind, he's basically Mundus' right hand, the same way his father was, and he's serving hell the way his father was, because the barrier that Sparta apparently created, which Mundus told him was, it wasn't there to separate the demon realm from the human realm, but the other way around. They wanted to separate the weaklings from basically the superior race, which is the demons. So that's Virgil's version of events, basically, and he serves Mundus on that basis. Now, Arius comes in, he steals an Arcana, and he has the idea of reviving Argosax the Chaos, who Virgil believes is what murdered, or the servants are what believed his mother. So now Virgil goes to Earth, and then he gets captured by humans briefly with rather advanced level tasers, basically these steel wires that generate electricity, and instead of using spiral swords to cut out of it, he brute forces his way out of it, butchers everybody, and calls it a day. Dante doesn't make any appearance in the first episode beyond being in a frozen chamber, and it's from like the second episode onwards is when we get to see him. The thing is, once again, Dante doesn't get much screen time as he should be getting, as he is the main character of the series, but maybe they wanted to give more to Virgil, and that's fine if they did. They just wanted to tell a different story, I get it. But the problem with the story is that pacing-wise, it's just all over the place. Things don't make sense. For example, there are times, like numerous times throughout the series, or episodes where Yamato is basically blocked as if though it's like a normal average weapon when it's sharp enough to cut through space and time. You know, they make Virgil look like he's like this washed down and weakened character, and he is quite aggressive as opposed to the video games. You know, in the video games he kind of like stands still. That's kind of his thing, like, you know, when something happens he reacts to it, where over here he's kind of like more proactive with his attacks and things. Now, Dante, on the other hand, yes, he is still playful. They do have the scene, we've all seen that when he gets Ebony and Ivory, and that is by far like one of the coolest scenes in the whole series. But as far as his moveset goes, the same thing happens as well. In the story, Dante gets certain things at certain points in time, like his Devil Trigger, whatever it is, and he has the ability to control it eventually in Devil May Cry 3 after obtaining it. In the story over here, he doesn't have that ability. It happens randomly. Like when Goku first turns Super Saiyan or something, he didn't like have full control over it. So it has to happen at certain points in time. And then throughout the story, Virgil, he just does his own thing, separates Lady and Dante from him. All three of them are fighting together, they get separated. And then there's a love scene between Lady and Dante. They kiss, then she says it's a mistake. Then they go to some place to destroy one of the Arcana. Then they sleep together. And then at the end of the series, after Dante saves the world again, she just ghosts him. Basically, he falls from the demon world into the human world into some crater. She doesn't bother to go and even check on him. She basically writes him a letter and she tells him that, look, I'm dumping you. This was a mistake because we don't really care for each other. It's that I made a mistake and I slept with you because we both share similar background where our mothers were murdered by demons. It's our trauma that brought us together, not our feelings. It's not you, it's our past. So I'm dumping you. And then she moves on. This shit reads like a fucking Tumblr post. And to be clear with you, all of this happens like within a period of like fucking 24 hours. Throughout the series, they do tease Lady a bit about having a crush on Dante, and there are times where both of them tend to blush at one another. Sorry, I've got a puppy over here that's going crazy. And then that's it. They just like fall in love. Dante is still in love with her. He doesn't even know. Get this. This man is lying like unconscious, bloody on the floor, beaten up in a crater, and he doesn't know that his girlfriend dumped him. When he wakes up, he's gonna find out like, hey, somebody in fucking Tumblr wrote this shit, made me kiss this chick and sleep with her, and then she fucking ghosted me. Like, what the fuck? Everything about this entire anime sucks ass. Now, as far as combat goes, and I can't even remember the order I'm supposed to do this in because it's unscripted. As far as combat goes, they use no moves of the characters in the game. There are times where they could use like Judgment Cut and even like Stinger. Simple things. They don't do it. Throughout everything that I've seen, the least that I would have expected was Dante to perform a Stinger on one of the clones of Lucia, or for Virgil to basically perform Rapid Slash or Judgment Cut or something to that effect. It doesn't happen. Dante's styles are basically like non-existent. I'm not trying to say that like I get it, he's written differently over here, but maybe he could have used like Sword Master type of skills at some point in time. And there is a charge shot in there, which basically Virgil teaches Dante how to use his magic. He teaches him how to basically channel his darker demonic energy in the demon realm, so you can actually breathe over there. And I think it is pretty obvious that to some extent, Dante is heavily inexperienced over here as far as his demonic abilities go. Virgil's the complete opposite. But when it comes down to the fighting, at every time you see like a setup with the enemies, you're like, okay, he's about to use this move next. And you're like, you're expecting it and they don't do it. It doesn't happen. When Virgil kills Beowulf, he doesn't get the Beowulf weapon. I get it that, look, there have been exceptions to some of the Devil May Cry games where this hasn't happened. Where you haven't gotten the same weapon as the enemy that you've killed, or you just didn't get one at all, like in DMC 2. But for the most part, when Dante kills Cerberus, he gets that. When Beowulf is killed, the same thing happens. Nevin, then there's Gilgamesh. When I get it. It's not always the same weapon from the same demon, but to some extent, it does happen. Virgil doesn't get Beowulf. When he killed him, we thought, yes, he's getting Beowulf, and get that. It doesn't happen. Every time you expect something to happen, it doesn't happen. And the thing is, it's not happening in such a way like you're like, yeah, it's like happening in such a way where your immediate reaction is like, what the fuck is this shit? Who wrote this crap? Did anybody even like bother to play the games? And it's pretty obvious that didn't really happen. Nobody played the game on the show, or they did their bare minimum work. They basically animated these characters based on whatever they could pull out of their ass, and that's it. I mean, there is a point where Virgil's chair makes an appearance from the meme, but it also makes it look like they fucking wrote this entire story based on memes and Tumblr fan fiction. With Dante and Lady having a romance scene, that just is wasting fucking screen time. Virgil and Dante, they while they do have their sort of like brotherly rivalry going on, but still, it would have been kind of cooler if they had like more than one fight between them. And I'm not trying to say that, look, it should be just Virgil and Dante battling each other endlessly, but I think it would have been pretty cool if maybe at some point in time there was like a fight where Beowulf and Yamato were equipped by Virgil and he were fighting like Dante after Dante maybe got a different weapon from somebody else. I don't know. But the least they could have fucking done was use the combat from the games. So, as far as story goes, I get it. They did their own thing. As far as character designs go, I get it. They did their own thing. The same thing goes with the fucking romance, whatever reason this was a thing. You know, seeing Lady blush and Dante blush at each other and then kiss, and yeah, you know, one thing led to another. It's kind of like this fucking millennial energy is everywhere. And it's frustrating to watch because, like I said, whenever you expect something to happen and it doesn't happen, it's more that it's disappointing than it is like, oh, that's a surprise. Wow, okay, cool. It's just fucking disappointing all around. And I'm gonna cut it over there because I can go on for days about how fucked up the show is. Watch it if you don't watch it. I think I'll watch it one last time and then call it squints until I get basically season 3 to see where they fuck up more. But until then, just take this entire thing as basically pure fan fiction. It's not Devil May Cry as we know it. It's basically Devil May Cry out of somebody's ass on Tumblr. And fuck the rest of it. With that being said, guys, I'm out of this video. Like, subscribe, do all that other fun stuff. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves and goodbye.